What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. You know who I am. I am Mykell Mathieu. It is Tuesday, January the 17th. Good morning, but you know what it is. These are the breaks.
These are the breaks.
These are the breaks. You know what it is. What's up, guys? Welcome to the latest episode of These Are the Breaks, baby. I am here to talk about some NFL football. The NFL playoffs are underway, and it gave us a very good weekend. I didn't do too bad, 4-2. If you checked out the last episode when I made my predictions, I went with all the home teams, but it didn't happen as so. But I'm going to start off there in Cincinnati, where we had a great game down to the wire that no one expected. We thought we would see a blowout with no Lamar Jackson there, but that team put together a fight. Shout out to Jim Harbaugh and that team. They did John Harbaugh did a great job with his guys, but it wasn't enough. They made one of the worst calls of the weekend, a quarterback sneak with a small quarterback from like the 2.5-yard line that led to a fumble and a touchdown to the house for Cincy's defense that put the game to an end. I don't know why they made that call. After the game, J.K. Dobbins came out and said, "Give me the damn ball," which he was right. They should have handed him the ball and see what happened. They had the game. I couldn't believe it. I know it's always tough when you play a team 3 times, and since he beat the Ravens in Week 18, and now you had this chance for the Ravens, and they let it go. I couldn't believe it. But shout out to Joe Burrow and those guys. They always find a way to make it happen. So now they're going to be moving on to Buffalo, where the Buffalo Bills were in a tight one as well. Like I said before, playing a team 3 times is always tough. If you study the history of the NFL, it is very difficult when you play a team 3 times. And even without Tua, even without Teddy Bridgewater, the Miami Dolphins put together a fight. It sucked because guys like Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, the big-time playmakers had so many drops that hurt Skylar Thompson early, so they went down 17-0 and were able to claw back, even taking a lead 24-20 on a strip sack, fumble, and score, but it wasn't enough. Josh Allen and those guys found a way to make it happen. Shout out to Damar Hamlin, who was showing love to his guys. We know that he's out the hospital and he's back at home, and he was showing love to the guys, and I know they were motivated. They had to make it happen, and it was so crazy because they won by what? 3 points, the same number as Damar Hamlin. So I don't know if you guys caught that, but it's going to be scary for them next week. They can't get the same performance that they got from Josh Allen. He had 3 turnovers. I'm telling you now, if he does that against Cincy, they are going to lose by at least 10 points. So let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to give you my predictions for the divisional round later, so make sure that you guys stay. But Buffalo took care of business. A great game there. What a surprise. But it's NFL football. It's divisional playoffs. Don't be surprised when you see these close games when they're division games. But I know one game that wasn't close. That was a division game. And we're going to take it to the Yay area. The San Francisco 49ers, they took care of business 41-23. Seattle just looked overmatched. I know that we love Geno. He made the Pro Bowl and things like that. But let's be honest, guy. Geno isn't that guy. He's not the guy that's going to go in the playoffs and win you these big games. Can he win you some games during the regular season? Yes, but he is not him to go and win in the postseason. But Brock Purdy, he for sure looks like him. I don't know. Is it the system? Is it the quarterback? But he is playing lights out. It was a tie. They were actually down 1 going into the second half, but they did what they do in the second half. That defense is top-notch. They're looking a lot like the team that made it to the Super Bowl a few years ago. So the Niners are looking very, very scary. So much talent. You got Debo. You got CMC there. Elijah Mitchell was there. You got Brandon Ayuk. You got George Kittle. Are they the favorites in the NFC? I believe so. I know the Eagles has played amazing this whole year, but the Niners look like the team to beat in the NFC and possibly the NFL. We're going to see going forward. But to keep it on the NFC, we have to talk about the New York Giants, who was one of the teams I thought that wasn't going to show up, but they did. Kirk Cousins comes up short once again. I'm done, Jeff. I cannot believe in Kirk Cousins anymore. The guy never steps up in big games. I just can't believe in him anymore. I actually argue with people on Twitter saying that he was a guy that's better than Dak Prescott, that could take care of business, and I thought he would, and he let me down because he was outplayed by Daniel Jones. Yes, that's right. Daniel Jones, New York fans. Shout out to your guy, man. I know you guys were excited. 300 plus yards passing, about 75 yards rushing. The guy played amazing, and I'm happy that Coach Brian Daboll knows exactly what he's doing with his guy. He's probably telling them, if you don't see anything, use your legs, because he surprises everyone when he runs the ball. He is playing some great, great football. He is coached up very well, and when you have that guy, Saquon Barkley, in the backfield who gives you 100 plus total yards in the game and a touchdown, it's going to give you that boost. But for me, it wasn't about the Giants. It was about the Vikings letting their fans down, letting everyone down. They played so well the entire season. You have Adam Thielen. You have Justin Jefferson. You have Hutchinson at tight end, Dalvin Cook in the backfield. And for you not to pick up a victory and win at home, very disappointed. I don't know what's next for Minnesota. They're going to have to figure it out. But shout out to the Giants with their big-time win. They move along. And let's talk about last night. We have to. 31-14. The Cowboys went into Tampa Bay and whooped some ass playing against the Buccaneers. The Cowboys look ready to go. They're going to have a tough matchup in the second round. But last night they balled out. Dak Prescott, they started slow with a couple 3-and-outs the first couple drives, and then they just got it all together. That defense led by Micah Parsons did a great, great job. And I'm going to say it right now. I wish I had his number. I wish I could call him, maybe even call him on his show and say, Tom Brady, this is it. What was the Michael Jackson final film? This is it. This should be it for Tom Brady. The guy just doesn't look the same. He's not mobile at all. Now, what you just going to be, try to be a mercenary and try to move to whatever team that you feel is the right fit, because you have talent in Tampa Bay. Yeah, the coaching maybe kind of failed you with Todd Bowles. I see they fired Byron Leftwich as the offensive coordinator this morning. But, man, just Tom Brady just doesn't look the same. And who expects him to? He's 45 years old, going to be 46 next year. I think that he should let it go. But you guys can let me know. Make sure you let me know down below in the comments. Should Tom Brady let this go? Because I think it's time to retire. He has nothing more to prove, and he just got smacked on Monday night versus the Dallas Cowboys, who I picked to lose. So that's how I got my second loss of the weekend. But we are in LA, beautiful Los Angeles that is, and we had a team that let us down to the max. 27-0. 27-0, and you lose. The Chargers clearly are who we thought they were, the Los Angeles Clippers of the NFL. That's who they are. The only thing they're missing is their Clipper Darrell. But other than that, they are the Los Angeles Clippers of the NFL. Whenever you believe in them, they let you down. I know this morning they fired the offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi. I don't know what they're going to do with Brandon Staley. I figure that they may make a move, especially if you can go get a Sean Payton. But all the praise that Justin Herbert gets, all the love that this guy gets when they try to compare him to Mahomes, they try to compare him to Allen, they try to compare him to Joe Burrow, he just shows that he's not there yet. You know, he's not making the plays to make it happen. It's no way that you cause 5 turnovers from a team and you lose that game. It shouldn't have been close. It should have been 48-17, some crazy score, but they just didn't make it happen. They have to figure out something there in LA. They already have an issue here with getting enough fans to fill up the stadium. They need to figure out what they can do because we know how LA is. LA is about winning. LA is about front runners. We like to support those teams who do their thing. The Rams, that's why they have all of their fans who have returned. They brought the city a Super Bowl already, and they did it in LA. So Clippers, Chargers, sorry, about the same to me. You have to figure out what you're going to do. You guys Staley made a terrible decision playing Mike Williams the final game of the season. It came back to bite them because they couldn't get any big plays down the field. It was just very disappointing to see them lose 31-30. Shout out to Trevor Lawrence, who started off with 4 interceptions, but still found a way to go and get 4 touchdowns and get this win. Big time win for Duval County. I know they are excited. They move on to Kansas City, playing against the Chiefs there in Arrowhead. Remember, stay with me. I am going to give you my picks. But what do you guys think? What did you guys feel about the Super Wild Card? Were you excited? How did you go on your picks? You guys let me know. I got to talk some NBA news, but that's going to be after the break.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
Welcome back. You are here with Mykell Mathieu. These are the breaks, baby. And I have to take you guys to the hardwood, baby. Some NBA basketball I'm so excited to talk about because this guy, Ja Morant, oh my gosh. Like, just seeing these highlights that he gives us every day and every night, I know what it feels like. I wasn't there in the early 80s when Michael Jordan came and blazed the NBA and they saw a player that they never seen before. We got him, guys. His name is Ja Morant. He just gave us the dunk of the year, maybe the dunk of the past 5 years with his big-time dunk against the Utah Jazz. The guy is amazing. He's a baller. He's a super athlete. What planet is Ja Morant from? I'm trying to figure out because the Memphis Grizzlies are led by this guy and they're playing some great basketball. They're on a complete surge, 10 straight wins. They picked up another victory yesterday. Ja Morant doing what he does, 29 points, 7 assists, 5 3-pointers. And I'm telling you, everybody, the more he knocks down the jump shots, those 3-point shots, he is only going to get more and more dangerous. They talked a lot of smack early in the season, then got smacked by the Warriors. But when you can go and win 10 straight, and when your name is Ja Morant, and you can make a poster anytime you want, you better beware of the Memphis Grizzlies. They mean business. Desmond Bane chipped in, 28 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists yesterday as well. Those two guys leading the way. You have Triple J there, who's a guy that's great offensively, defensively. Brooks Dillon. This team has everything that you need. They play some really, really great basketball. They're an exciting team to watch. Who would have ever thought you want to say, I want to go home, rush home, and watch a Memphis Grizzlies game? Maybe we haven't done that since White Chocolate and Pau Gasol and Mike Miller in those days. But Ja Morant is taking this team and this franchise to another level. To me, he is the most exciting player in the NBA to watch. He can ball handle. He can make great passes. He can go and score 30, 40, 50 points. And then he can get a poster that you will want to put up in your room as an adult. Ja Morant, Grizzlies, I got my eyes on you guys because maybe, just maybe, you might represent the West and the Western Conference when it comes to the NBA Finals. So we're going to see. It's a lot of pressure, but Ja Morant, you are special. I am saying it now. You are the Michael Jordan of this era. Don't mean you're the best player, but just the most exciting guy by far when it comes to watching NBA basketball today. I got to give a shout out. I spoke of the Utah Jazz. Walker Kessler is the first rookie since 2014 to get 20 points, 20 rebounds. I know this is the era of major stats where it's like everybody is playing Wilt Chamberlain type basketball, but you still have to show love because to go out there and get these numbers, you still got to be balling. You still got to put in your work, and that's exactly what Walker Kessler did. 20 points, 20 rebounds. Shout out to him. Shout out to Celtics. I guess great, we can say. I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest. He's going to be up there, possibly top 3 by the time his career ends if he stays there. Jason Taytum, he surpassed the great Larry legend, Larry Bird himself, for the most 50-point games as a Celtic. Once again, remember, we are in the era of crazy, crazy stats because of the space, because of the shooting, because of the less physical contact and things like that, less rim protected at the rim. But 50 points is 50 points. I know today I say the modern 50-point game is 40 points. It's like 40 points during the era of Kobe, Duncan, and those guys, but it's still 50 points. So shout out to Jason Tatum doing his thing. CJ McCollum, he came out and said that certain players on the Raptors are unhappy. Is it going to be a fire sale there in Toronto with Drake calls the 6? The team hasn't looked the same since Kawhi Leonard left. They tried to piece together their team and be as competitive as possible, but since they won that championship, it's been a fight. They've been trying to figure it out. Fred VanVleet is a name that you've been hearing that could possibly be on the move. Maybe to the Los Angeles Lakers, which would be a great move, especially for the Lakers. But, man, what are the Raptors going to do? They were just that team that everybody was excited about. Drake was on the sideline. They were going crazy. Kawhi helped them bring that ring, and it just haven't been the same being led by Siakam, OG, Anunoby, and those guys. So what are they going to do? Is it going to be a fire sale? Does CJ McCollum know something that we don't? Are they that unhappy? I'm going to keep my eye on it. You should keep your eye on it as well. Draymond Green, he's back in the news. As you can see, Draymond has his Dope podcast where, he's very candid about everything that he talks about. He keeps it real. That's why I respect Draymond Green. And I know that he was recently on the show with Taylor Rooks, Bleacher Report, and he spoke of his time coming to an end with the Warriors, which is crazy with him being such a big part of a team who won 4 NBA championships. His time can be coming to an end, and he knows it. He sees the writing on the wall. He knows how the luxury tax works. He sees the contracts. You pay Jordan Poole. You got these young guys that you're going to have to pay, and you got to get more play. So Draymond Green time coming to the end with the Warriors is crazy, but how much of an impact will that have going forward when it comes to the Warriors? Because we all know he's their enforcer. He's the tough guy. He's the one that's going to talk mess to the other team. He's the one that's going to get in your face so that Klay doesn't have to do it, so that Jordan Poole doesn't have to do it, so that Steph doesn't have to do it. But also people overlook his impact as a leader. Defensively, he is that guy, and he's the point guard. You know, if you watch the games and you see, of course, Steph brings it up sometimes and a lot of times, but it's Draymond who gets people in position, who initiates the play. So he is going to be a big loss whenever it happens because he is just that guy. Just picture the bad boy Pistons back in the day, losing Dennis Rodman. They were never the same. I know they had their injuries to Zeke and things like that, but they were never the same because you lost their enforcer. And this enforcer, Draymond Green, does so much more for this team. Let me know what you guys think. Is it going to be a wrap? Is that going to be it when it comes to the Warriors when Draymond is finally gone? Is this their last run together to get a ring, to get number 5? You guys got to let me know down below in the comments because we're going to have our eyes out on it because the Warriors, I don't think, are going to trade him, but I think this may be his last run there with the Golden State Warriors. I got to bring you here to L.A. because the Lakers have been having issues, with some of the teams that they're playing against, but it's the refs. It is the referees that they are having issues with. There's another game that the Lakers were, you can say, quote-unquote, robbed by the refs. As you can see on the replay, Embiid clearly had a full hand on Russell's wrist as he drove to the basket. How you missed that call? Something has to happen. Something has to happen to these referees. I believe one of the leagues overseas, when refs make these type of mistakes in crucial moments, they receive suspensions where they suspended 5 games because of missed calls like this. And I'm going to talk about it more about what the NBA does to try to, I guess, right the ship and right their wrongs. But the Lakers are clearly justified when you're losing these games in the position that the Lakers are in, where they're clawing and fighting and trying to get into the playoffs and try to be in the play-in. You need every win you can possibly get. And when the refs are missing these big calls, when you have a superstar like LeBron James going to the rim and he doesn't get a foul call, you have a superstar like Russell Westbrook goes to the rim and he doesn't get a foul call. Yes, you never want to blame the refs, and one play doesn't lose you the game, but these big-time plays are hurting the Lakers. And the refs, you have to figure it out, because it's already tough going against the other team, and now having to deal with the refs not making calls for you, it is total BS. So I can see why after the game LeBron will come out and tweet something about the refs, because he knows we need to get these wins and you guys are in our way. We shouldn't have to be playing you. Lakers versus refs. Do we need to wear shirts to the games and let you know that you guys need to get it together? I don't know, but you have to fix it ASAP. So you guys know that we are like at the midway point of the season, which means that we're close to the All-Star break, which means that we are close to the trade deadline. And I have some top 5 trade candidates for you. First, I'm going to take you to Chicago. Zach LaVine, who has been putting together some really good performances, but the Bulls just don't look like a team that's going to be competing for the East. And they have some players over there, but it just isn't enough. Zach isn't enough. DeMar isn't enough. Vucevic isn't enough. Lonzo Ball is trying to get his way back. So you have to be looking out for Zach LaVine being on the trading block. You have the Knicks, who are possibly going to be a team. The Knicks have been playing some really good basketball, but it looks like they are a piece away. And maybe Zach, if you can have Zach, Julius Randle, and Barrett there, that can be a team that can be tough. Be a tough out. So we're going to see the Lakers. He's an LA guy. There's been talks that he wants to get back to LA. Do the Lakers have enough to piece together a move? It's going to be something that all Laker fans are going to be looking out for. The Dallas Mavericks. Luka, of course, he needs another guy that can handle the ball, that can go get buckets without him. And then the Miami Heat, they have a lot of pieces over there. They're not playing up to par what we all thought they would look like before the season. They're going to have their eyes out for Zach LaVine. That's the first player. Number 2, Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal. We already know that the Lakers are looking at Bradley Beal. But once again, do they have the pieces that are going to be needed to bring him in? Bradley Beal has a home out here. His lady is from out here in L.A. So I know if there's some way, somehow, he may try to make it happen. And that's one of the big moves that you're hearing about Pelinka. They saying that Dame and Bradley Beal, they feel that somehow, some way they can make it happen. Maybe if not during the season, during the off season. So I know for sure, Laker fans, you need to circle that name because it is going to be a name that we're going to hear about for a while. Bradley Beal. Number 3, Phoenix Suns, Jay Crowder. The guy hasn't even been playing. The guy has been sitting out because of his the disagreements him and the team have. So a team like the Bucks, who needs a guy like that, a great 3-and-D guy, a tough guy who can bring to them what P.J. Tucker brought to them to the championship team. That's a piece that I know that they're going to be really looking at because the Bucks maybe are a piece like that away. With Chris Middleton not really being himself lately, Jay Crowder can be somebody that can come in and bring some more toughness, bring some more shooting for them. And then you have the Rockets who just may want to get a veteran to come and help the young guys, Porter, Jalen Green, Josh Christopher, and guys like that. And then bringing it back to here to LA, for number 4, Russell Westbrook. Are the Lakers going to finally move him? The guy who is the favorite right now to be the 6th Man of the Year award winner. He's been putting together some really good games. He's having some moments like, the Philly game where you like, man, I wish you would have passed the ball to LeBron, even though he was fouled and should have got 2 free throws. But he's having some of those moments that may sour on some Laker fans and maybe some in the organization. But you're hearing teams like the Wizards, so he might be a part of them bringing in Bradley Beal or bringing back Kyle Kuzma, the Bulls, and even the Knicks, where he can go to the Mecca and be one of their top players there. So we're going to be here. We've been listening to his name. He's like the new Lamar Odom. When Odom was with the Lakers, it's like every single year was, are we going to trade Lamar Odom until we finally did? So, Russell, I'm sorry, bro, but you're just a part of that. And then the final player before we go to the break, Draymond Green. I talked about him earlier. Will the Warriors say that they had enough? Will they be like, all right, man, he gives us some more antics. We just need to already start off now and make a move. Teams like Dallas, who would love to have him and his toughness next to Luka to protect him. Teams like the Knicks. I know that New York crowd would love the energy and the wildness that he brings. He's like having Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, and those guys on the team. And then the Miami Heat. Can we see any of these guys being traded? You guys let me know down below in the comments who will be traded out of this crew or who is more likely to be traded. Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, Jay Crowder, Russell Westbrook, or Draymond Green. Y'all let me know. But stay right there. Be back. Don't leave. You got more to breaks with your one and only Mykell Mathieu in a second, baby.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Yo, guys, welcome back to the breaks with the one and only Mykell Mathieu himself. Hey, man, got to take you to some serious news if you guys haven't heard. Alabama, Crimson Tide's basketball player Darius Miles was charged with capital murder for killing a young lady there in Tuscaloosa on Sunday morning. Coach Nate Oates expressed sympathy for the young lady's family, saying it's a really a tragedy all around, but especially for her and the family. Crazy news that you hear. You also heard the loss of a Jordan player and one of the scouts during the celebration of their national championship win. Whenever you hear news like this, it is, very sad whenever you hear about loss, especially when it comes to murder. You got a player who ruined his whole career off of some nonsense like this. It just teaches you, stay out the way. Stay out of the way, man. You got you a scholarship. You're doing your thing. You have to learn how to stay out of the way and keep yourself out of the trouble. Sad news. Prayers out to that family of the young lady who lost her life. And then prayers out to the Georgia player and the scout who lost their life in that car accident, man. It's tough times that we're living in. Keep your head up, stay strong, and stay focused, man. But I have to take you to my commentary. I have some things that I want to talk about. First and foremost, I have to give a shout out. Yesterday, we celebrated MLK Day. If you live in Los Angeles and you haven't been, make sure at least one of these years you go to the MLK parade. You see a lot of different LA figures. You get a good crowd out, a lot of people showing love. Much love to the legacy of MLK. Me being a big fan of that man, I studied him a lot in college, still study him till this day. He did so many great things that his legacy is so strong that it's still living on so many years after his life was taken away from us. So do yourself a favor. Go and find something that he wrote. Go and find something that someone wrote about MLK, just so that you can learn more about the legacy that he leaves behind. Because that's where you got the guys like Muhammad Ali. You got the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You got the LeBron James of today who followed in this great man footsteps to make sure that they continue to fight for the people, fight for love, and fight for togetherness, which we all need during these days and time. And I have to talk about this because it's something that really irked me. Before I give you my picks for this divisional round, these referee reports. I know I talked about it earlier, and it talked about the Lakers being cheated by the refs, but I just can't stand that they give us these reports and say, hey, yeah, we did miss the call. What does that do? How does that help anybody? All it does is pisses off teams and their fans because you're saying, yes, we're sorry, we might have screwed you on this game. And especially, like I said earlier, the Lakers need every one of these games. So when you come out and give these reports, it does nothing to help anybody feel better about you making a bad call. The refs need to make these calls and do their job, or damn it, I don't want to hear about it. Don't come out and say that you made a mistake, because we all know you made a mistake. So we don't need a report release saying, hey, we're sorry about this. What are you going to do? Make it up the next game? Clearly not, because it happened to the Lakers again. So I know I was going back and forth with a few people on Instagram, Twitter about this, but I think it needs to be done. Dead it. We shouldn't see it anymore. Stop sending out those NBA ref reports whenever you miss calls, because nobody needs to know about it. We clearly see it, and it just makes you guys look like fools, NBA, when you're dropping these reports. But this is my time, my favorite time of the show, because I get to give you my predictions and possibly make somebody some money if you listen. Hey, 4 out of 2, I did a good job for a few of you last week. So, the NFL playoff weekend, we have the divisional round. It's going to start in Kansas City with my Kansas City Chiefs hosting off against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who they took care of business earlier in the season, beating them 27-17, even though they lost the turnover battle 3-0. I think the Chiefs take care of business. I'm going to give you a score of 31-17. I think the Chiefs are going to be ready. Mykell Hartman returns. The defense has been on fire. The Chiefs will protect home and have another game in the AFC Championship. Then the second game of that day, Eagles, Giants. Once again, we talk about facing the team 3 times, and the Eagles were 2-0 in the season playing against the Giants, and now they're going to have this matchup. And I know it's hard to beat a team 3 times, but I'm going with the Eagles, man. Jalen Hurts and those guys have been balling all season long. They're going to be at home. That Philadelphia crowd is going to be amped, hyped up. They might have Meek Mill come out and perform Dreams and Nightmare to get everybody ready. I have the Eagles taking care of business. I'm going to say 27-21, Eagles win. Then I have to take you to Buffalo, where I am going with the first upset and only upset of the weekend. I have Cincinnati going to Buffalo, taking care of business. I picked Cincinnati earlier in the season on Monday night to beat Buffalo, but you know, the thing happened there to DeMar Hamlin. But I think Cincinnati is just that team right now. They're hot. They're going to be ready to go. I know they escaped, but they are going to come out and perform and get the dub in Buffalo. I got Cincy winning. I'm going to say 28-24, Cincinnati wins. And then I'll finish the weekend, Niners, Cowboys fans. Should I believe in you guys? Nah, it's not going to happen. I do not believe in the Cowboys. They took care of Brady because Tampa has struggled all year long, and I thought that they would come out and perform, but they proved me wrong. But the Niners are that it team right now. Their defense is playing great. Brock Purdy is playing amazing. They have all these weapons on offense. I just think that the Niners are there to take care of business. I even think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, but it starts this week where they have to take care of business. I have them beating the Cowboys in a shootout, 34-31, great game, but the Niners are going to win. Hey, I thank you guys so much for checking me out this week. Y'all know who I am, the one and only Mykell Mathieu. You can find me on social media at Mykell the PG, MYKELLTHEPG. Make sure that you guys tap in with everything Infanity Studios. Make sure you guys are back next week so we can talk about it. How many games will I have won? Hey, we're going to see. Catch you guys next week, baby.